Which song? S. Can you not hear without associating them with the movie they were used in? Every song used in Shrek. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Shut up, donkey. I can vividly hear Shrek going, donkey. I was just on stage with Smash Mouth in Goodyear, Arizona. Rama. Were you just on stage with Smash Mouth in Goodyear, Arizona? So she said, what's the problem, baby? Everyone's talking about Smash Mouth, but Shrek 2 is how I discovered Counting Crows. So she said, what's the problem, baby? Most of the first Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, but especially Hooked on a Feeling and Come and Get Your Love. Come and Get Your Love. I smiled so hard when that song came on in Endgame. Facts. And when they recreated the scene, lizard kick and everything, lol. It's also awesome to see how awkward Quill was without the music. Somebody did the same thing to the dance scene from one of the Maguire Spidey movies. Hilarious. Not sure about the dance scene, but if you watch the scene where he's walking down the street snapping fingers, popped collar and look at the background characters, you'll realize it's meant to be cringy. That is the dance scene, I'm pretty sure. Eye of the Tiger and Rocky. I usually think of Jensen Ackles doing this on the set of Supernatural. My wife made me rewind that part over and over again. She would cheat on me with Jensen. To be fair, you probably would cheat on your wife with him too. My husband knows that the only man I'd cheat on him with is Jensen Ackles, but only if he does the Dean voice and smells like whiskey. With a hint of burgers and pie. I would cheat on me with Jensen. Stealers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You, Can't Unsee Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs, and Little Green Bag. What about Lime in the Coconut? Feel in love with the song after listening to the Reservoir Dogs album. This one was underrated. I always grab something sharp and start dancing backwards when I hear that song. Great song. Fun to play on guitar, too. Don't You Forget About Me. Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it is we did wrong, but we think you're crazy for making us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, and an athlete, and a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club. Yes, but I never did find out why you signed this The Breakfast Club. You all had breakfast, separately, before getting here. Somehow I doubt that they all had breakfast. I can actually hear the song starting to kick in after reading this. Where is my mind? Oh, the pixies with the last scene in Fight Club. This is actually one of my favorite movie ending scenes. Came here to comment this. Ms. Allow, Pulp Fiction, oh, and all the songs from the Blues Brothers. Reservoir Dogs, Stuck in the Middle with You. You never can tell from that one. It is so hard not to dance like Uma Thurman when this comes on. For that matter, Stuck in the Middle with You, Reservoir Dogs. I like to move it, Madagascar. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it. My oldest daughter, for about 6 months, wanted to watch Madagascar 2 every day. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner we watched Madagascar. Even though I have seen that movie 1,000 times, the scene in the beginning, when the plane is crashing down, and he says now kiss it, like you're kissing your sister, and he slams the plane down. Cracks me up every time. 1,000 Miles in White Chicks. How did you know? I love this song. I hope we keep Terry Crews for a long time. I'm still waiting for them to reference this in Brooklyn 99, but they flip it where the song plays, and Terry turns it off because Terry hates that song. Immigrant Song, Led Zeppelin. Thor Ragnarok. That song was literally made for Thor. As soon as I saw the first 2 words of your post, my head automatically put in Shrek 3, and I was all, oh. Glad I'm not the only one who associates the princess in Shrek with that song, lol. Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World. The directors wanted an Aerosmith song in that scene, and Mike Mears threatened to back out of the movie if they didn't use Bohemian Rhapsody. If I remember correctly, they tried to call his bluff and he walked out or something. Obviously we know how it eventually panned out, and I'm so glad it went the way it did. I'm not even a huge Queen fan, I just hate Aerosmith. Aerosmith the poor man's Rolling Stones. Lil Bomber the poor man's Aerosmith. And Freddie Mercury himself loved the scene, since they showed it to him before he passed. And I have to do the ridiculous headbanging too when that part of the song comes on. Hakuna Matata. Disappointing, since it is a such wonderful phrase. Did you know it means no worries? For the rest of your days? Is that a problem-free philosophy? I prefer Hasadigari Boe. It's kind of like Hakuna Matata. Can't take my eyes off of you. 10 things I hate about you. Jaina's got a gooan. Janie Briggs got a gooan. Wasn't that from the first movie with Captain America? Take my breath away, Top Gun. Also, you've lost that loving feeling. I hate it when she does that. It is with a heavy heart I must tell you Supermassive Black Hole by Muse, because it was in Twilight. Twilight had such an amazing soundtrack, and those songs deserved a better movie than they got. I loved the first soundtrack. Thanks for reminding me about it. Never seen the movies, bought all the soundtracks. Oofed, I can relate. Or 1000 Years too. Or Decode. Yeah, I was gonna say 1000 Years too. Although I guess I don't specifically associate it negatively with Twilight. I watched them mostly for the eye candy. Jacob and the Wolfpack MMM. I love Christina Perri's voice though. The other song I like by her is Jars of Hearts. Ride of the Valkyries, Apocalypse Now. I always think of Blues Brothers when I hear that, mostly because the car chase with the Illinois Nazis was shot in Milwaukee where I live. For me it's what's opera, doc. It's how I got into classical music as a kid. Any Vietnam War songs and Vietnam War movies. Fortunate Son, All Along the Watchtower, etc. War. Yeah, pretty much anything by Creedence makes me think of riding a heli into a fire zone. And yet it somehow works with every video game ending. No, seriously, people on YouTube proved that to be true. Source, for science of course. Iron Man Black Sabbath. Just a little disappointed that it wasn't reused in Endgame. If they picked the right songs it totally could have worked. It went great in Ragnarok with the fight scenes at the beginning and end. Now, every time I see Thor fight now I keep hoping for Immigrant Song. # Scotty doesn't know. I miss the early 2000s era of lowbrow comedies like Eurotrip, Rat Race, White Chicks, etc. Don't forget Orange County. I've got these fucking ideas, man. We are the same height, that is neat. What are we going to do with a $1.65 in Bratislava? My baby takes the morning train. Jingle Bell Rock, Mean Girls. For me it's Home Alone. For me it's Lethal Weapon 1.